I'm Sam Shocker, and we start with breaking news on eastbound I-70. A person has been killed in a serious crash near the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels. There was a collision just before 9 a.m. between a CDOT snowplow and a small van carrying a hockey team from California. CSP says the driver of that van was killed and 8 other people were also taken to a hospital, 5 children and 3 adults. We do not have details on their injuries at this time. 2 other vehicles were also involved, but CSP says no injuries have been reported. So this is a live look at the traffic backup right now. Drivers in the area, they're experiencing that. It's moving very slowly. Eastbound I-70 will be closed for an unknown amount of time, but drivers are being told to avoid Loveland Pass as a detour because of the weather conditions. So speaking of that weather, snow is falling in the mountains right now. It is light, but it's falling because even a small amount can create problems. So let's check in now with Keely Chalmers of our 9 News Weather Impact team. Keely, temperatures are also a bit lower today, right?
Yeah, cooler temperatures today. We've got that snow falling, albeit light, like you mentioned, but also low visibility. So limited visibility as we take a live look from our sky cam out at I-70. This is the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnel looking at Loveland ski area. So again, it is not terrible accumulation when we're talking about driving up in the high country. We're not talking about inches upon inches of snow, but again, slick conditions with even an inch or 2 of additional accumulation expected over the next 24, 48 hours, and we've got that low visibility. Just something to think about if you're heading up into the mountains. As for the metro area, we are looking beautiful, clear, sunny skies today. Those winds a little bit breezy at times. That's about all we can talk about. Those temperatures right now, we're in the low to mid 40s, 46 outside the 9 News studios. Current temperatures mainly in the 40s across the plains, although we're already up to 50 degrees at Rocky Ford. Up in the high country, mainly 20s and 30s. Live radar, again, just tracking flurries, light snow activity, barely even visibly on our live radar. Up in the high country, we did have some flurry activity out across the eastern plains earlier. That has dried out. And again, we're seeing some just really tracking these off and on light snow showers over the next, I'd say, 48 hours up in the high country through Sunday, through Saturday morning rather. We'll talk about just how much we can expect and a warm up for the weekend coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Keely, thank you. A worker is dead after an accident with an ice resurfacing machine at an ice rink in Fort Collins. Now an investigation is underway. It happened Tuesday at the Edora Pool Ice Center. The city says a person driving the machine backed into a partially opened overhead door. They were rushed to the hospital where they later died. The city has not yet released the name of the worker. The ice rink is closed today, but is expected to reopen tomorrow. Colorado's public defenders have added it up and estimate that the scandal involving a state DNA analyst could cost taxpayers at least $11 million. Missy Woods faces more than 100 felony charges stemming from accusations that she manipulated data in hundreds of cases during her decades-long career. The new report concludes that more than 1,500 cases could be affected. The 2 agencies that provide lawyers to people who can't afford them, the Public Defender's Office and the Office of Alternate Defense Counsel, are asking the legislature for $2 million to deal with those cases. The report also says they've uncovered problems with 3 other forensic analysts, 1 working at a lab in northern Colorado and 2 at CBI. An Adams County deputy who was seriously hurt in a shooting nearly 2 weeks ago is out of the hospital. He was shot on the 16th while responding to a call about a disturbance with weapons at an apartment complex at 74th Avenue and Broadway. Another person was shot and later died at the hospital. And at last check, the sheriff's office said they believed everyone involved was in custody. We asked for an update on the investigation, but they couldn't provide one. The U.S. Border Czar says he's having positive conversations with state and city leaders in Minneapolis after taking control of the operations there. Tom Homan, who was sent after 2 people were shot and killed during protests over the last month.
What we've been working on is making this operation safer, more efficient, by the book.
And Homan says he will stay there until things calm down. He plans to even further reduce the number of agents there. However, Homan doubled down on the need for local jails to tell ICE about people in their custody who agents can remove from the country. You can hear more from Homan coming up at 1 on NBC News Daily. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is in Washington, D.C. today to push back against federal immigration enforcement efforts in his city. His office says that Frey will meet with mayors and federal lawmakers, calling for an end to the operation in what he calls unlawful ICE operations. He says Minneapolis has seen one of the largest ICE deployments in the country and warns other cities could be next if action isn't taken. And a new update, the Justice Department has charged the man who squirted a liquid on Democratic U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar at an event at Minneapolis Tuesday. The man faces federal charges of forcibly assaulting, opposing, impeding, and intimidating Omar. An affidavit says authorities determined that the substance was water and apple cider vinegar. The man has a criminal history and has made online posts in support of President Donald Trump. A former Colorado lawmaker is now a convicted felon. Sonia Jaquez Lewis, the former Democratic state senator from Longmont, was convicted yesterday for faking letters of support to avoid an ethics investigation. Fellow Democrats at the Capitol were investigating claims that she mistreated her staff last year when they said that she fabricated at least one letter of support from a former employee. She abruptly resigned before that investigation was complete, but that didn't spare her from a criminal investigation. Yesterday, a jury found her guilty of 4 felony counts of forgery and attempting to influence a public servant. She's set to be sentenced next month. New signs near the Rocky Flats warn about radioactive material, but then just feet away, there's a different message. Boulder County installed these yellow warning signs on county-owned land near the former nuclear weapons production site. But looking at nearby federal land managed by U.S. Fish and Wildlife, signs continue to say that the area is safe for recreation following cleanup efforts. We asked the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service which signs are accurate, but we're told a response would come later today.